Okay, I think we're rolling. You probably hear the rain outside. Yay. Stuff that I've been doing over the past couple days. Working on the Kickstarter page for Wielders of Ether. Trying to get this all set and ready. You can see me and Patrick. Titles. You would let me know if this looks like a you know, right? It's supposed to be an energy beam, but energy beams sometimes look like. Basically, if you show it to, what is that lady? Bad design. It's like if you show it to a teenager and they laugh, then you know it's a dick. But hopefully this looks more like an energy beam. You'll let me know, right? But yeah, so here's the Kickstarter page. It's not quite done yet. I still got to get all the perks in here and whatnot. By the way, if you have not read Guardians, which is Wielders of Ether, Guardians Path of Ascension is here on my Amazon page. Yay! Also, I have Life and Times of Donna Martin. This one is no longer available, although I think Amazon has a couple still in stock. So, but this was pulled, and I put out the revise. This is just a cleaner, tighter version of this. Same story, but this is cleaner. This is a bit of a mess. You have to acknowledge your failures, right? But yeah, if you like my stuff, check out the books. Speaking of books, I've been listening to The Fall of Salavandrea by Tim McKay. Great book. Check it out. I'm almost done with it. I think I'm on chapter 68? Something like that. I will do a full review of the book on the Bruce Books channel at some point, but until another time, But yeah, this is what I've been listening to on my daily ride. Actually, this and Twilight. I know, Twilight, Sparkly Vampires. But Twilight books are actually pretty good. And I've also been looking at acoustics because I need to get soundproofing done for my recording booth because I want to get the Guardians audiobook done. I did 11. If you want to listen to it, listen to what I already have. I did 11 chapters of Guardians, but the room's not treated for sound very well. You can hear everything outside. There's a lot of reverb, and it's just not a good recording. So I'm going to record mine again once I get the room treated. But yeah. Oh, I should probably sync up the stream and see if it's all connected. What do I do with the phone? There it is. Now, 1 second. I think this is the better way. My phone is making a ding ding sound. Ding 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 ding. Let's turn the volume for this and then get that. Okay, so that's connected. Also, my Bruce Books page, you can come check out books. Featured authors, these are indie authors that I support. Just because I like to prop up other authors. I don't really know a lot of these folks, so as far as their personal lives go, I don't know, but I try to support their writing. And of course my books are here. This one is coming soon. It will be there eventually. But if you want to look at The Guardians and take a peek at the audiobook, it is here. I did 11 chapters, I think. Yeah, 11. But, like I said, the sound quality isn't the best because I recorded in this space. And I did some treatments of the audio, but when you have a lot of reverb and a lot of background noise, there's a lot of damage to the audio, so it just doesn't sound as good. So I'm going to do a full recording, a full re-recording once I build the sound booth, which is a project that I'm working on. But anyway, yeah, if you like the work, like my work or whatever, leave a review. I don't have a whole bunch of reviews on these things. I've got thousands of downloads, nobody says anything. So it's like, come on, guys. The reviews help sales and they help recognition. So, yeah. Anyway, that's not why we're here. We're here because I'm supposed to be coding. So the goal today, at least for the hour or two that I'm going to put into this, is to do the messaging system. So I set some of it up before. We got some messages that go out, like when you get a planet or whatever not. We'd like a message to go out whenever the a ship is destroyed. And I would like messages to go out when a player is no longer in the game, and I would like a message to pop up when you win the game. So I guess if I'm going to do it for the ships, I can go to ships here. And we can do it on a begin overlap. Cool. This is checking if we're hitting a planet. We're adding the ship. So how do I catalog these? If a ship hits a planet, right, you do want to know if your ships got to that planet. You don't want to just guess, you know, did the ships arrive? But if I send 50 ships, I don't want to get spammed with 50 individual messages. I want to have a single message that says, you know, 50 ships arrived at planet whatever, or whatnot. So that means I have to keep a log of ships that have been destroyed, ships that have landed at certain places. And who do I store this on? Do I store it on the player or the planet? I couldn't store it on the ship because the ship's going to get destroyed. if I could put it on the player. I could put it on the planet. It could be something that's on the game mode, because the game mode handles the messaging system anyway. By the way, welcome to the stream. How is your day going today? And like, nothing's ever simple. It's like, well, if I do this for the message, you know, what path do I want to take for that? Let's go to the game mode and take a look at... Oops, that's not the game mode. Is message on here? Message is not on game mode. Maybe it's on player. So I did put it on the player, I think, because I'm calling this direct here, so that means that there has to be where's player.h message log. It's just an F string. Okay. So how do I want to do that? Since I am handling it just on the player, then I only need to know about the player's stuff. Alright, let's tackle the simpler one. When a player is removed from the game, we'll do that. So go here. So add planet to planet list. This one is you get a planet from so-and-so, but then on remove planet, Let's see, we check if planet has been removed. If own planet is none, then remove player from active list. Set to inactive, and we'll send a message. I can't do it that way because that would be sending a message back to itself. So I can't do it that way. I would have to go one level out, so I would have to do it on the game mode. So we'll go here. And then I can do this as this returns a bool, so I could just check this. Let me comment that out. I think I can get away with then in here we will do 4. We'll do 0 less than active player list. So we'll have this one cycle through all the active players. I do want to check to. I don't need to send a message to the CPUs. So we'll do if active player list. I don't think I need to do a cast. I think I can just do ISA, because that would be quicker on the check. We'll do ISA, Q. And we'll say if it's not an AI player. Then we will do a message for that. So I'll just borrow this again. And message log. And then I want to do player remove from the game, or has been defeated. So let's do player name to string. Let's do that. I don't have anything for this to do in here yet, so that's just whatever. But let's see if I destroy a player, if I get this message. And it should appear for every other player as well. What broke? It does not appreciate that. But assignments within conditional statements are allowed in certain circumstances. It needs to be allowed there. I will just lazily put this in here. That feels so redundant. Like, I guess I'll do this so I don't technically check that again. It's only slightly cleaner. I mean, I could just manually mark it true. Still don't like it. Doesn't matter which way I do it. I don't like it. But I want to check to see if this is going to work. I feel like the horse, you know. Ren and Stimpy. No, sir. I don't like it. No, what's my messages look like over here? Speaking of messaging. While this is running, a word from our sponsor. Don't forget that I've got books out. Guardian's Path of Ascension and Life and Times of Donna Martin. Check them out. If you've read them, give me a comment or something. A review. Yeah, that's that thing. You know. Again, this one has been pulled. This is the revised version. But if you are quick, you can grab the old one and read how bad it was. It's not a bad story. It was just a mess. Formatting and editing was all over the place. But it was the first book that I wrote. Kickstarter, I'm working on it, but this is how far I am right now. For Wielders of Ether, which is the comic of the Guardians, so check it out, keep an eye out. Okay. Oh, it's still loading. I guess I can still continue to sponsor. Ooh, we got a breakpoint execution error. Why? That doesn't make any sense. Alright, so let's hit stop. Get writer thread ID, current thread, data erase detected, acquiring write access on thread concurrently with the writers on the current thread. Yeah, but I don't think that's me. I don't think that's a me error. Let's do that again. Because my game's not even running yet. This is the editor that's got to boot. Yeah, that's not me. That's a mess. I have to send that to Epic. Because that's not me. Hold on, I'm gonna pause. There's always something in there. Let's go to the Epic forums. And I also want to check this error. Data erase detected. Epic forums. Let me look for that as well. That's really just a curiosity, because it's not the first time it's happened, but what's this one say? Yeah, I'm not using Chaos Destruction, so I don't really know if this is going to be relevant to me. But well, at the moment, that's not what I'm testing. I do need to acquire more information on it, though. Ah, so much nicer. Okay, so I'm going to get... let me do 3 players this time. And I'll do 3 CPUs, and that gives us 6 planets. So there won't really be much guessing. Okay. And we'll build a couple things. I can remove that breakpoint. Player 2. You know, why not? And then player 3. Calculating actions. Yes. I need to do another turn. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and just make some ships. Now end my turn. This one... good enough, and then this one... Alright, so now I'm going to go and take over some of the other planets. Gonna kind of cheat here. So send to planet 4. Good enough. And I'll end my turn, and then on this one, I sent out to planet 4, so there's planet 6. 1, 2, 3. End turn. And then, what was that? Planet 6? Planet 8. No, that's good enough. I won't conquer planet 8. I'll just make more ships. There we go. There we go. CPU 3 has been defeated. Cool. Message worked. Now if I hit OK and I end turn, CPU 3 has been defeated. You captured planet 6 from CPU 3. Good. That message system's working. CPU 3 has been defeated. That way each player in that cycle gets to see their thing. You know. So now we'll continue that and see if I get any errors. Not enough resources. So what other planet? Planet 8? I wonder why that was staying selected. That was weird. Planet 2's got 12 ships. Planet 6 has 2. We'll do Planet 8. Oh no, Planet 1. Sorry. That one has 8 ships, so helps if I read. Planet 6 has 2 ships. 5. Yeah, how does that turn? It's a lot of ships going out. We'll see if CPU 2 has been defeated. Good. I'll make some ships while I'm here. I'll end my turn. CPU 2 has been defeated. Yes. Pretty confident that that's going to work just fine. And once again, I didn't really check what players own what planets. So, game mode. And we've got... Actually, no, I'll do it by player. Player 1, home planet. Actually, I'll do owned planet list. Goodbye! So, planet 2. Okay. Planet 1 and planet 6. So, planet 3. Alright. That would be planet 2. Alright. I guess it doesn't matter, right? As long as I'm not sending to myself. So planet 2 is this one. Good enough. So no defeats for those. And then you captured planet 5 CPU 1. Yeah, but that player did not get defeated. And nobody else needs to know that that planet was lost, right? I think that's fair. So that works. What other message needs to go out? The big one, of course, is you win the game. So if you win the game, I want a menu to pop up. But I don't want to go back to I think Unreal has a internal system pause. I could probably use that to stop everything. I mean, I could manually go pause everything, but I think there's an internal system pause. So I can do that. And I want all the other menus, really all the other menus need to stop working. I guess it wouldn't matter, but... I could do that. I could have the main HUD be hidden, and then have that message pop up. Let's make a widget, user interface widget. Call this, I guess, win screen. I don't know how sophisticated I want this to be, what data I want there to be displayed on this thing. I think for now, you win the game. And go back to main menu is all that is necessary on here. And then I can build onto it from there. So what do I need for this? Let's take a look at the other message box. Message pop-up. Like, realistically, I could just use this. Okay, could use the message log for that. Or I could just duplicate this and just put a button on there. if you are receiving a message, well, if you're playing network multiplayer, you of course should be alerted that you've lost the game. But you'd be kicked to spectator mode. But that's for a different time. I don't want it to say you won the game, because then if it's single device multiplayer, then who is you? So it should say which player. But on single player mode, it's saying, you win, should be fine. But the message does not have to pop up on that player's turn. I guess it could, because I'd be the only active player. So really that could be part of the message log. I might not have to make a whole new thing for that. And then instead of it being okay, I could just hide the OK button and have go back to main menu, Yeah, I think I'll just do that. Well, I do want to deactivate could pull a StarCraft. StarCraft lets you continue to play even though there's nothing to do. But then I'd need an option menu to get you out of the thing, so. I think, which I shouldn't do, it's dangerous for me. Thinking, yeah. Because, I mean, the message log is already there. It's, design is mostly thinking. It's like 90% thinking, 10% action. Let me go to my main HUD. And this canvas needs to be, I need to turn this canvas off. Yeah, I'll do it from message log. So message pop up. Things that are needed in here. Got this button. Let me duplicate the button. So that's that way because I have a spacer that fills that quite a bit. So I'm gonna have to swap those out. So I'll duplicate that spacer, collapse one of the spacers. Where is the duplicated size box and button? This OK button will be we'll say main menu. And that's weird that it didn't auto fit. Oh, because I'm inside of a size box. I guess that's fair. If I take this button out and just drop it into the horizontal box. And then this size box I don't need anymore. This one is going to be button main menu. And then that one will be hidden. Button main menu. That will be hidden. So it'll be set to collapsed. And this is spacer. This is spacer end game. I gotta make it visible. Or I gotta make it a variable. I also need to make this one this one needs to be collapsed. But I need to know where it's going to be. So this one's going to be here, and then OK has to be off, and main menu needs to fit. So spacer in game, where is your spacey spaceness? Is that good? I'm leaving a little bit of padding here. Is that padding on there? No, there should be a spacer at the end of that, right? Spacer there. Okay. This one is 680. Turn OK, turn this one on. Is it wider? Hold on a second. And this size box will need to be size box for that button. All right. Things that I will need this, and I will need this one, and I will need the size box for this one, and I will need the button for this one. Okay. Set visibility. Alright, so the end game space will become visible. We want this one to be collapsed. The OK box can also be collapsed. So here's the thing, you can run this off of the same, but I've had issues with multiple objects plugged into the same box not firing. So I'm going to do it like this, but I may ultimately do individually. But we'll try it this way and see how it goes. So we'll make these ones visible, we'll make these ones not visible. And then I should be able to activate those buttons, and I can turn the other things off by default. So the end game needs to be set to collapsed. Its default is actually not hit testable, so I should make sure I set that back. This guy, same deal. Menu. The default on a button should be visible. Visible, yeah. So this one is set to collapsed. So that one can go bye-bye, this one can go back on. I think that's fine, and then we'll go in here. So JK. This one needs to be visible, but this one needs to be not hit testable. I mean, technically it doesn't need to be not hit testable, but you wouldn't want it to. Don't be a jerk. You don't want to accidentally be able to click on it. And this should be self only. Okay. And then the actual button itself, so menu button, we'll do on clicked. We need to set world travel, so open level by name, and then the level we're going to go to will be the main menu. Where are you at here? Map. We currently are not having a lobby, so we will go back to main menu. I'm just going to copy the name out of there. Since we're testing by name, we want to make sure it's accurate. And that should get us there. And then when does this pop up? This pops up, of course, when there are no more players on the field. So how can I trigger that from the message system? I can do it on this side of things. So where is my update turn? All the way down here. Not the nicest way of doing it. How's it going, Corey? What are you up to right now? I'm just staring at code and crying. I'm staring at spaghetti. A lot of spaghetti code. To trigger this here is not the cleanest situation, but I don't want to write another delegate for it. So I think we can do this. Off of here. Yeah, this goes to calculate actions. Well, that's cool. Haven't played. I actually haven't played any Terraria, although I've seen some folks play it. I did play StarMade for a while. Right up to the point where they changed the power system, and then I got bored of it. Alright, so after calculating actions happens. Really, this could be checked anywhere.
Okay, bye for real.
See you later. This bothers me. Why I don't have this. Why did I do that? Alright, so we update turn. We're checking to see if that's the player. And then if it's not the current player, then we want to check if... What are we checking? Turn index is -1. If that's the case, then we're checking these. If it's not the case, then it's the AI that is running, and the AI hits this. Okay. I wonder why I don't just run this back through. Welcome back. Maybe not. So does Terraria? So it evolves over time, but is it always a different game? So like if I join now and then let's say in a couple weeks I come back, has everything changed? Is it like always updating itself? Trying to think why I don't run this back into here. I guess it makes sense because once calculating actions is done, it recalls update turn, and the update turn would go and do its thing, I guess. That's a jumbled mess. Let me get the message box. Message pop up. I'll grab this. Set when message pop up. That is what I built it on, right? I didn't do it on star chart. No, it is here. Set message, game 1. Maybe it just wasn't reading. Yeah, okay. I was just being stupid. Set message, game 1, and then I could have this check internally, or I could have it check now on a branch. I think I'll do it on a branch. And the branch that I'm checking is going to be, where is the game mode here? Game mode, there you are. Come here, game mode. This is going to be game 1. If game 1 is true, we do this. If game 1 is false, we do that. Let's test it. So 1, 1, and 2 planets. Let's see. Hey AP, how's it going? Let's see, you gotta explore a big procedurally generated world that changes over time. Okay, so if the game was left open, the bios would spread over time. Okay, that's pretty cool. So it does evolve. Hot sauces, yeah. So we still do hot sauces. I don't do a lot with stupidly spicy, just because I've got a bunch of other things going on. So what I've been working on lately is setting up a comic book. I don't know if you remember, because I write. So I wrote the couple novels that are out. We decided to turn Guardians into a comic book. So like, I'm turning this book into a comic. It's called Wielders of Ether. It's my artist, me. So the Kickstarter's not ready yet, but we're in the process of getting it finalized. So this is where we're kind of at. So we've got some characters listed, and I got to build up all the perks and what those are going to be doing. But this is where my focus is going. Between this and the game that I'm building, that's kind of where I'm at. Right now I'm on the summer, so I get to focus more on my stuff than the students. Yeah, so what have you been up to other than Terraria? Yeah. You're working out today, AP? How often do you work out? I'm doing about 4 days a week, and then I run on Saturdays. Have you ever read it? Thank you. Yeah, the comic book. All of the cool artwork, that is Patrick. Patrick has a gift for doing that style. I did a whole thing on hiring a bunch of different artists and having them do a page, basically, and then I picked the artist that I thought had the best work. So Patrick was the one who won that campaign. So been working with him a year and a half now. Alright, so we're going to see if we can win. Already constructed. Awesome, enough turns has gone by. I'll make some ships. And then I'll end my turn. Yeah, that happens sometimes. You gotta drive back home, AP? Are you at the gym currently, or are you just kind of like out and about? Alright, let's see if I can win this game here. I'm going to hit it with a lot of ships. Okay, so now it's my turn. But I did not get the pop-up for that. Did I defeat him? No. I did not defeat him, that's why. Let's send some more ships. He's attacking back. What a jerk. Alright, so the planet's been defeated, and I got that. But I should have received the message, so... Okay. Let's exit and double check this. So this variable is being checked. If we're not winning, we're doing this. If we are winning, we're doing that. You know what I didn't check? I didn't check to see if that actually got ticked. So let me do that again. One, two, end, end, end. I have a speed button, which is great. Alright, end turn, end turn. I'm on planet 1, so planet 2. I'm gonna hit it as hard as I can. Okay, it's my turn again. That planet is still alive. My turn again. Let's check the game mode. B game 1 is not ticked. Let's see. Active players. So this player has been moved to the inactive list, but the 1 is not triggered. B game 1 was not triggered. Yeah. I've been listening to this guy's book, The Fall of Salvandrea. So I'm on 68, I think. Chapter 68 on there. That's Tim McKay. He's one of the few writers that I support. So shout out to him. All right. Why is that not being triggered? I'm triggered. Let's go to game mode here. You know what? I just realized I did a silly. Well, maybe. So the condition checks to see, whatever the win condition is. And then it sends out a message if the game was not won. Yeah, but this should have been checked anyway. Oh, I don't actually have it doing anything. That would probably be the reason why check win condition is not checking anything. All check win condition is supposed to do is check for active players. So let's save this. Let's stop here. Save all. Close that. I mean, I wonder how redundant this check is, but realistically, you know, I could just do this inside of that function. Because the only time I'm checking this situation is if there are no more players. So I really don't need to check this. This is kind of redundant. Where is that condition being checked? Where did I put that? In here. All right. So really my win condition is going to be active player list .num is 1. If there's one player in the active player list, then the game is won. Otherwise, this can happen. And then I can remove the check win condition function. Yeah, because this would happen first, right? So once we're here, logically, yeah, we'd hit here, and we would only do this if there are other players around, so that should be fine. Audiobooks don't do it for you. So I'm kind of the opposite. So when I read a book, I'm a horrible person. I am bored to tears when I'm reading a book. Like, I could be doing anything else, you know? And I hate to say that because I write and I want people to read my stuff, but I don't usually enjoy reading other people's stuff. I just don't. It's hard for me to connect to their characters. It's, you know, like, but when I'm listening to an audiobook, I can listen and still work on other things. So it can be a passive thing for me to listen, and it's a lot easier for me to get into an audiobook than it is for me to get into the written book. It's just how my brain works. But I hate to say that because I feel bad because people are like, hey, read my book. And I'm like, I probably won't. You know? Because I want people to read my stuff and get excited about my stuff. But it's kind of hypocritical because I don't enjoy doing it the other way. But when Tim said that he was in an audiobook, I was like, yeah, I'll definitely listen to the audiobook. Yeah. I have way more chance of doing the audiobook than I would do a physical copy. Although in Tim's case, I did, Tim McKay, I did order a physical copy of his book. He's got a lot of unique names and places and stuff, and I was like 11 chapters in, and I'm like, I'm not clicking to any of this. I have no idea what's going on. I don't know where this is going. I don't know why the characters are doing what they're doing. I don't know who anybody is. And I sent him a message. And I was like, I don't think this is working for me. And my issue was, like, there's a character, and so of course you have a character with a name, right? Of course he's got a first name and a last name. But then also that character is a part of a group of people, either a town or another thing, and there's a name that is associated with that. So there's like 3 or 4 names per character, and he'll jump between those names. And it took me a while to figure out that he wasn't talking about some random person who just spawned in. You know, he was talking about the same person of a different name, and that drove me nuts. So I ended up getting the book so that I can read what these names are. And like he also has his own swears. So instead of saying, you know, I don't want to swear on stream, but you know, instead of saying the S word, he's got Sheth. And I was like, who the hell is Sheth? No, it's a swear word. So in that case, I had to get the book so I could understand what was going on. But yeah, I think I'm a horrible a horrible reader. My uncle wrote a book, and I was going to read it, and I never did. Okay. Oh, did they send out ships in that transaction? They may have. Let's send ships over to here. Oh, they got 8 on theirs now. I'm going to send 9. Hopefully 9's enough to conquer. We're hitting each other. Computer 1-1. The computer won. So I do have to have, in this case, in a single player game, I have to have it say that you lost and go back to main menu. Ugh. But I've listened to a lot of audiobooks. I have a huge, like, thing of audiobooks. And just because it's an audiobook doesn't mean I'm going to enjoy it. Like, I tried reading Interview the Vampire in college, and then I tried listening to the audiobook, and I was bored to tears. Both times. Ender's Game I read as, I read the actual book, and then I listened to the audiobook, and I enjoyed it both times. But I also got bored at the same spot both times, which was the political stuff. I don't give a flying hoot about the politics. So when it got to the political chapters, I ended up turning it off because I don't care. And it took me months to go back to it. And I only went back to it because she wanted to listen to it. So otherwise I would have skipped over the political stuff. Listen to Jurassic Park, both of those. I like Michael Crichton's work, but he spent a lot of time on chaos theory. It was very, very repetitive. Although the second Jurassic Park book, it's interesting for the first, I want to say first quarter, and then once you get to the island, it's like, why are we here? And that's my big problem with like a lot of books, is if they do not establish why they're doing the things that they're doing early on, it's just noise to me. I'm like, what does any of this have to do with anything else? And they go to the island to rescue Dr. Levine. If you've ever watched the movie, they go to the island because they're trying... Ian wants to rescue Sarah. Sarah Harding. But in the book, they go to the island to rescue Dr. Levine, because Dr. Levine sends out a... he calls on the satellite phone, and he radios for help because he's being attacked. And then they try to go there to rescue him, and then he's like, oh, sorry, I don't need rescued, I'm just here to explore. Well, okay, but now you've defeated the rest of the book. Doesn't matter now, because the whole purpose of going there is no longer there, and then it's about them trying to get off the island, but most of it is them just trying to explore the island just to see what the dinosaurs are doing. And it's like, okay, well, there's no more plot. There's no other reason to be here. So, like, I think the first quarter of the book is fine, but then the rest of it is kind of like, eh. So... Horror and philosophy. I haven't read too many horror books, but I've read more horror books than philosophy books. The closest thing to a philosophy book that I've listened to, not read, I did try to read it, was Starship Troopers. And technically it's a sci-fi book, but the book is nothing like the movie. The book is really about battle strategy and the kind of like the Dogs of War. It's military philosophy. There are some battling of aliens that happens in it, but most of it's about military philosophy. Kind of like, it's interesting, and because of the narrator, the way that he narrates it, it's interesting. But I was very bored in that book. But horror, I read a lot of Stephen King. I do enjoy Stephen King's work. What horror books do you listen to? What philosophy books are you listening to? Or reading, I should say, because you don't really do audiobooks. Let me stop this and send a signal so that we know if I lost. I guess I could send the signal. No, I don't want to do it from there. I was thinking I could send it from the code side and send the message there. The Last Days of Socrates. How is that? I have not done Misery yet. Everybody says I should do Misery. But I did Apt Pupil. Langoliers I've read like think I've read the physical book twice, and I listened to the audiobook 2 or 3 times. And then The Secret Window, Secret Garden. Did that one twice. And I'm doing Tommyknockers now. But it's a long book. I think I'm only a quarter of the way through it. I've been thinking about it, but that's a long book, and I don't know. I've read that he goes off on a lot of tangents, and I'm just not a big fan of random crap being in the book. There are a lot of tangents in Tommyknockers, you know. Alright, so now I have to decide on how I'm going to send out this message. I guess I could send a message out to... If I do it in code, let's save just in case. It just kind of makes sense to do it here. If the active player is 1, we can set game 1 to be true, and we can send out a message to that player. So active player. It should just be 0. I think it would move the position up. So we'll get the active player, message log, and we'll do .add. And we'll check to see if this player, again we'll do an is a check. So we'll say if it's not an AI player, then the message will be you win. And then the else of that will be you win, you lose. Even though technically the message will pop up on the computer side of things, you know, it doesn't care. But let's test that. Alright, so they said pretty interesting. Explores the dialogue between Socrates and how they are to be how they're trying to condemn him for influencing / corrupting young men to question different ideas put in place. I mean, it's not too far from what our government is trying to do now. That is pretty cool, though. So who wrote the book? That would be the... I assume, because you said it was by Plato, right? So that should be... So I'm assuming Plato wrote it. Or maybe a compilation of his notes that was put into a book. Like, how was that done? Okay, I'll end my turn. Cool, and I'm on planet 2, so I'll grab planet 1. Huh. Alright, game mode. Active players. Yes, that was moved. So 1 should be ticked. Okay. Okay. Let's check here. Because I'm running this, I'm bypassing a bunch of stuff. One of the things that I'm bypassing is here. So I think I'll go this route here and feed back into it. I'm going to bypass clear message pop-up. Because I don't want to clear the message off. It should be cleared when I hit the end turn, and I don't have to do that for these guys. Okay. I am curious about who wrote all the stuff down originally, you know. You win! I don't want to have the captured of CPU 2, but whatever. And if I hit this, it should bring you back here. Alright, now what happens if I lose? I see attackers coming out. They have to be... Yep. Bam. So I had to have lost. But that didn't trigger. I wonder if they wrote diaries, or if they had like a somebody who was walking with them all the time, a little scribe that was just writing down their conversations. Okay. I wonder why it does not show the pop-up message for that. I know why. I know why it doesn't show it. Because on a single-player game, I do not change possession. I don't change the controller to the next player. It probably would work on the multiplayer setup. So if I do 2 players, I'll do 1 computer, and we'll just do, we need to have at least 3 planets. And then I'll end the turn. Alright, I'm on planet 2. So I need to take planet... I don't know who has who. I guess I'll send 1 ship. I'll do 3 ships and then 3 ships. Player 2 has been defeated. I captured from planet 1 from player 2. Okay, so planet 1 is here. So I need to get this guy. Not enough resources. And then I will send ships from there. And let me go to... No, I'll leave ships on that planet. I'll end my turn. These are like, the you win pop-up is here, cool. But that's like in between everything else. I do want it to clear the messages. And then send that out. I can do that part internally. I can do that on the coded side, clear the message log. That's why I was going to just have it be a different menu altogether, have a different thing that pops up so I didn't have to clear it. But I can do it on the internal side. Can I lose the game on the multiplayer? in either case, I'm going to have to rework how that's going to work anyway. I was going to keep hitting this until ships happen. There they go. Yeah, the pop-up menu did not pop up for that. One second. Nothing. Why? Question mark. Buddy of mine's asking what I'm doing. So we can win. The thing that controls... so what I was originally going to do is have the message pop up on... so when, if I go here and go to the player list, there's always a default player. So I said I wanted 2 players, but there's actually 3. This is a default player that's always in the game. What I could do is buddy of mine's closing on a house. Oh, that's awesome! Exclamation point. So I could give control to this player and have the menu pop up from there. Gotta think about how I want that to work. It could be a generic message, you know, player 2 wins the game, player 3 wins the game. Instead of doing it as you win or you lose, it just says player so-and-so wins. But that's not really a personalized message. There are several conditions I could run. On a single-player game, it's easy to say you win, but it's not so easy to say you lose. I think if it's... let me go ahead and cancel this. A lot of errors. think what I'll do is in here. Might have to run another condition to see what kind of situation we're dealing with here. I'm going to totally violate never nesting. I've already done it, but we're going to go through the motions here. If current game mode, seriously? Is equal to game modes. Ugh, come on, IntelliSense. Thank you. Where's e-game modes? If we are single player, we'll do it this way. I guess I'll just do else ifs. Oops. If local multiplayer, we'll do this. Well, no, local multiplayer doesn't matter. I was going to have it say player so-and-so wins the game, but on local single and local multi, the winning player is the one who's going to have control. So I don't think that check is necessary. Finish showering, you need a post-workout meal. Oh. Hey, Serious Shorts. The game is it's like a like a real-time strategy game crossed with a turn-based game. So if you ever played Conquest on Linux, that's a turn-based strategy kind of space game. I took a lot of elements from that kind of game, and I mixed it with some elements from like StarCraft and Command & Conquer. So a lot of the things that you do are turn-based, but some things still happen in real time. So it mixes those two genres. So what are you going to do for a post-workout meal? You're going to do high protein? You're going to do something really high carb? What are you thinking, AP? All right. Yeah, I will do based on player. Let's do active player list 0 name to string I will do it that way. Maybe it would just be simpler if I just give control to the other player, the default player. If I just give control to that, I check what mode we're in. I think that'll be the simplest. I don't even need to check this. The message log would go to, okay, let's rewrite this. I'm going to comment this out because this kind of works, but this isn't working the way that I want it to work. Let's do this. Listen, you. Okay. Just going to do this again. If we win, we will set possession. I'm getting the player controller, and then I want to send possession. So I'll go borrow that from update queue here. Update action queue. I'm gonna grab this. Come back down. To here. Yeah, so we'll get the game mode player. And then we're going to set, we do need to check if it's, I think that's fair. We'll check to see if it's a computer player. If it's a computer player, we will do this option, player GM. We'll get you win. Otherwise, we will have it be right. So if the winner is a human player, it'll be one of these two options. If the winner is a computer player, it'll be this option. And then it doesn't matter what mode we're in, you know. I think that's fine. I will need to pause the CPU player. Actually, I won't have to. I can simply modify the whether or not it's their turn. Well, I can do that here. Where's update turn? Update turn, update turn. I can exit early. What is the error list? Oh, I have to return a player. Return player GM. And now a word from my sponsor. That's me. Yeah, I guess we can open those menus. And let's play some game. Alright. 1, 1, and 2. I am planet 2, so planet 1 is going to be dusted. Timer should not be going because the game's won. Game 1 is on. Message log didn't pop up for this guy. And actually that makes sense. The message log does not pop up for this guy. It's being bypassed. So what I'll do, let me stop that. Go back to the menu. Pretty sure message log only happens for here. This is probably still firing at -1, which would, I think, just carry on to here. How come the timer is still going? Oh, I don't have game 1 in here. Although we would be between turns. I won't do that here. We'll go to the tick that is running it. Okay. So that should adjust the time for that. I need to read the pop-up messages now. So on this, I could wrap this in a switchable canvas. And just have this be the only one available. Whew. Ugh. Why is it popping there? Where are you at? Message pop up. Center, center. I assume this canvas is anchored to all. Oh no, the canvas panel needs to be full. The message pop-up needs to be... Oh, I do get an anchor. Interesting. Wonder why it's collapsed. Oof. What's the value I want to set? Active widget index. How am I feeding this? it's a jumbled mess. Hey guys, I gotta take this call. Hello?
Hi, is this Mr. Flowers?
It is.
Hi, my name is Taylor Kruger, and I'm an associate principal in Minnesota, calling for a reference check on Jacob Thompson. Do you have a couple minutes?
I do. Just give me 1 second.
Okay.
I am back. I had to take a call, which you may or may not have been able to hear. I don't know how well the soundproofing is out there. It's not like super confidential, but and where's the live chat? I should say that I'm back. I'm back and forward. Come on, you. Buddy of mine is put me down as a reference, and I don't know if it's weird they ask you questions about their performance and stuff. I'm like, how do I answer that? Like, did I answer it well? Did I do the whatever? Because he's fine, but I always think I'm going to say the wrong thing or not be informative enough, or I should have said that, So well, really, this should be fine. To avoid doing the same thing twice, conversation still in my head. I'm like, I feel like I didn't really answer any questions. Like, I said things, but nothing came out. Hate that. I'm surprised that hasn't changed. Let me hop out and hop back in. There we go. I think it got stuck because I had to use the phone. Alright, so if I'm coming into here, I could just check which I was going to branch it, but realistically, I think I'll just redo it. I don't know. Because I could put a branch in here, but I already have a branch going. You know, every branch is another thing, so I try to do things within the same branch. Branch is just an if statement. I may have to very specifically get the player GM on that. I need the other message pop-up for 1. Everything else is the same. Okay. And this might not even fire because it comes after update turn. Well, I should update turn to the correct thing. So let's check. Welcome to the stream. The place where you get to watch me fumble. Alright, well, and planet 2, so I'll get planet 1 and So time is stalled, that's a good sign, but the message didn't pop up, and this window is still here. So one definitely happened. I may have to do it on a broadcast. Just to ensure it gets ticked. Okay, so why did that message pop up not hit? Let's hit stop and see. Oh, no errors, no error messages. Look at this tangled mess of stuff I have to sort through. I'm gonna pass this into here. I'm worried about a double hit though. So if the game won, we should go this route, else we go there. But does this signal get through? It should get through. Alright, so if we get here, that does go to here, and this doesn't fire. I think I'm safe. I think if I do this, and I do this. Let's get a bunch of stuff. And turn a couple times. And let's planet 1, so I'll get planet 2. Let's send 6 ships. Says I captured planet 2. But that doesn't make any sense. this menu did clear, and I got this. But it should say I won. Let's take a look here. Let's go back to this. I wonder if this is getting player GM. It should. But in the event that this is not, I'm just going to call directly to player GM. You get the game mode. Let's get that and get player GM. And we'll is valid check off of this. To avoid any errors, it should have a player in it, but rinse and repeat. We'll do this a few times, right? And then end. Planet 1, so I'll grab 2 and 6. You win. Yay! Okay, so now I have to test if I lose. CPU 1 wins. Go back to main menu. Okay, so now we need to know if there are 2 players. I don't care about that guy. Oh, I did make ships, didn't I? I should not have made ships. It was out of reflex. 2, 1, 3. So I'll roll it until there we go. Game 1 happened, and I'm in the wrong player. Okay. And what happens if... I'm on planet 2, so I need to send ships to three ships to there, 3 ships to there, and I'll make another. Player 2 has been defeated, and I captured planet 1 from player 2. So then they have 5 ships. Now I've got 5 over here. I can't risk the loss. But what I can do is I can't leave them vulnerable. I need to keep ships here. He's going to build ships every time. What can I do for this planet? Let me jump here. And then I will reinforce that planet. So what do I own? Planet 2 has 5 ships. I will send a ship over in my turn. Okay. 4 and 4. 4 and 3. It's already in queue. In my turn. I need this to start in the correct position. Okay. Let's go to that planet. There we go. Let's hit it with 8. I'm assuming the game won, yes, but the session didn't end. And so if it works on single player, but doesn't work on multiplayer, and that means the way it's being called. Resource delegates. Let's go down to the bottom. Grab this guy. Let's see. Right, so here for calculating actions, we do a change control player. This does not feed into that. I don't do a change controlled player on here because in the single player mode we don't need to change the player. I'm always going to be controlling the same player. I guess I can fire right off of change control player to here. We can do a bypass. I don't really want to change control player though, because that particular handoff happens in the function itself. I see that being a messy thing. I'm going to try it anyway. 2, 1, 3. I still have that conversation in my head. I'm like, oh, I should have said something else. I should have been... I don't usually do woulda, couldas, but... I want him to get the job, but I also want to make sure that I answered the questions correctly. Not correctly, but adequately. I don't feel like I answered the questions adequately. I'm on planet 2. I currently have planet 3 selected, so let's drop. 1, 2, 3. 3 there, and then I'll do 3 there. Okay, I'm gonna go to that planet. Computer 3, what do you have? Computer 3 currently only has 1 attacker, so I'm gonna be that person and throw 4 ships at it. Player 1 wins. Cool. So that did work at the end. It's like, wait, am I player 1 or am I player 2? The ship that's spinning, when they lose the controlling player, they don't know what to do, so they just kind of like wig out. I could have them explode or something, but I think it's funny. Player 2 win, or player 1 wins. And then I can go back to menu. Let's do 2 and 1 and 3 again. This time I will just let the CPU player get it. CPU 1 wins. So now we have officially a win condition. I still think it might be cleaner to broadcast it, even though I hate doing broadcasts. I also need to give this player the anchor point of the sun. And so I can zoom in and out and stuff. But that seems to work. Then go back to menu. Yeah. So then the next thing to do, I need to create a quit menu, an options menu. Not too difficult to make. This win menu, I think I'll just rename that to options. Let me open that. I'm going to steal some stuff from the pop-up menu. I don't have any options to put in this thing. I don't think a scroll box is necessary. Border, scroll box. Yeah, I don't need the border and I don't need the scroll box. I can take those out. Spacer and spacer. Horizontal box. This one. OK. I will get rid of OK. Bring that back. And this box. Let me turn that one off. So we need a main menu button. We also need a quit button. And we need a resume. Let's take the horizontal box and I will just center it. What if I did a fill? Yeah, center's probably better. Little ending spacer. any padding. I guess I could do a left and right padding on these. 10 and 10. Just for a gap, and then good enough. I don't have sound yet, so nothing I can do about that. We don't have difficulty settings, so nothing I can do about that here. I kind of need to have an "Are you sure?" pop-up, but I won't worry about that right now. I just want to make sure these 3 buttons work. So I'll go here. Oh, in-game widget. I don't need this guy for that spacer. In fact, I don't think I even need that spacer, so I'll take off that spacer. Okay. So on-clicked for each one of these. And rhythm. Easiest button to do is quit. Like, nothing to it, like, legit. By the way, if you're doing a mobile game, this checkbox here, ignore platform restrictions, it has been deemed poor design to have a quit button on an app. So most of the time when you try to quit an app, you usually just swipe to exit the app. However, if you want to have a quit button on an app, you need to check this override. So like if you play a lot of mobile games, normally there's no quit button in it. You just go to your options and then you swipe to end it, and it'll close automatically. Because the system internally handles how to close an app, they're like, well, you don't need a button. But if you want a button for an app, you click that, and then you can override that. I like having buttons on apps. But anyway, main menu. Same deal, we will just open level by name, and that's going to be main menu. Easy peasy. This one, a little bit tricky, because really what I want to do is I want to open and close this particular menu. So it depends on how this is called. If it's always live, then you just need a show and hide. If it's going to be created, then you want to make sure it doesn't get created again. So I need to decide how I want that to go. before firing this one. So I'll compile and save. I'll go to the HUD here. I will hide this one on the first canvas panel. Border. This I need the options menu. Same deal, this needs to be, where are you at? Options menu. I'll just overlay it on top of here. Cool, and this is going to be hidden. I think this one's also hidden in game to begin with. Yep. Okay. Now that's going to be accessible by hitting the escape key. And I have not set up the escape key. And the new input system works differently. I probably should at some point migrate away from the old input system. But the old input system does not, or the new input system does not play nice with the widgets, so unless they've fixed that. I haven't touched it in a while. Let's do over here. Add a variable. If you want to make a single action toggle, if I call this and I want it to open or close depending on when I call it, then all you gotta do is this. So Alright, so if the menu is open, so if we're on true, we want to go to false. And that should be hidden. If it is not open, we'll go to false. We'll set it to true. And we'll make it open. So every time I call this, it'll either turn it on or off. Pretty handy way of doing a quick toggle. But if you want a dedicated thing, then you would just put them on a separate branch. I won't bug him. I was going to ask him what his ETA was, but it's fine. I'll deal with it later. I'm sure he'll message me when he's ready. Show options menu. This is going to happen off of a key press. At some point I might put like an actual button on there that will call the menu. To make it so that I can use a button call on here, I will need to bind an action. I can do it through Blueprint only. What I should do as a responsible designer is push it back through on the player controller and have the player controller fire it. But this is how you would do it. Project settings. Input. An action map. I got primary, secondary. I need to add one. This is options. Escape key. I actually prefer this to the new input system. It's just straightforward. Then I can close that. And quite honestly, I don't really even need this, but I will right here. So under action events, I'll get the action event, and I will simply just call this. So show options menu. I don't have to worry about released. I can leave that alone. But for the resume, what I need to do is since the ability to show and hide is going to be handled on the parent widget, I need to funnel down through get my options menu. On the options menu, I need the variable for the player HUD. Player HUD. And then on the options menu, seems kind of silly, but that will go take its own box. So player HUD. This is going to be show options menu. Now I can't do that on here. Oh, actually I can't do it. I have to do it through a new pie. There we go. So under a new pie window, hitting escape is going to close it anyway. So actually I want to do a standalone. Hold up. Make sure I save all. Of course, escape from here does nothing. One player, one of those, two of them. Start. Okay, so now I'm in here. If I hit escape, my options menu is up. But I don't see my buttons. I think they're still hidden. That works. These work. Those work. I do need to have prices on these. I don't have prices. You know, you just have to kind of guess. Okay. Let's go to your design view and quit button. It's currently set to collapsed. Buttons, I think, are default visible. Cool. So resume should just do that, although it shouldn't select things, but main menu should take me back to the main menu. And quit should quit. All good in the hood of neighbors. Okay, so something else that needs to be checked for safety's sake is, I think we're good here, good there. When we are on the main menu, number of players and number of planets, I have to check those. Huh. Oh. There should be a series of checks. Number of planets can't be greater than... Alright. I need an additional branch here, which is right here. The other thing that needs to be checked is whether or not the number of planets is less than the combined number of players or CPUs. So greater than, no, less than. Players and CPUs. Hmm. Did I really do it that way? I did. So every word is a... I do have that branch here, though. This is an option here. What do I do it that way? I do need to set a max player count and a max because I have a max player count, I have a hard cap of 30. How do I want to do it? So we currently have, if the number of players and the number of CPUs are both 0, then must have at least one player or CPU. The other option down here I don't need this. I'll just add a pin to the OR. And we can test that. Sure, we'll do it on the standalone. That should be fine. So if I do this, and I try to start, right? If I do this, must have at least one. Right? But that's not a good message. Maybe I'll do these as yeah, I will want to add another branch. I was going to avoid adding a branch. I was like, well, I can just play off of that one, which I can do, but the message that is given just isn't a good message. So let's grab these. Yeah, I think that's good enough. It's weird, this knee has that pinch feeling that I sometimes get in the other knee. But I have a head surgery on that knee, so it's weird when I get it there. And that works. Okay. So that'll help be a little bit of a safety catch. Okay. Let's save that. Okay, and now what to do next. I could do the resources on buildings and such. Alright. I think I'm going to call it for the moment. If you want to play this, I will... I'll do a build, and you guys can play it either off of the itch page or the Lame Duck Studios page. I think it's playable now. You guys can test it. The only thing that's not working as far as playability... Well, there's a few things not working, but... local, single, and multiplayer work. It's the network multiplayer that doesn't currently work. So that'll be disabled, but everything else should be fine. And you can like give me feedback and whatever not. I guess I could add a feedback button. But anyway, play test it. Let me know what you think. I'll catch you guys later. See ya.